Bakersfield had its own music of the soil. It came out of the grape vineyards and the peach orchards and cotton fields of the San Joaquin Valley. And the music that came forth was as pure as it could be, because it was real.
Looking for something I couldn't find anywhere else. But I don't want to be nobody, just want a chance to be myself. I've done 1,000 miles of thumbing, guess I've worn blisters on my heels, trying to find me something better on the streets of Bakersfield.
I stopped at a roadhouse in Texas, a little place called Hamburger Dance. I heard that old jukebox start playing a song called Truck Driving Man. You know, speaking of truck drivers, we get a bunch of them through Bakersfield because it's known for its agriculture, the cotton, the oil, and especially country music.
Hey, I hope you'll come to see me in my movie. And I know that you're gonna plainly see the biggest fool ever hit the big time. And all I gotta do is act naturally.
It's a honky-tonk sound. It's a sound, though, that is unique and to California. But, you know, it wasn't necessarily the Bakersfield sound. It seemed like everywhere I went in California, all the sounds was approximately the same.
Hey, baby.
Yes?
Don't you think we ought to stop and rest a little bit?
I ain't tired, Fred.
Well, you know, my old horse is getting kind of tired, and
I noticed that.
we don't want to wear out your brand new saddle. Listen to the crickets singing. I never heard a sweeter sound. Do you know that crickets make their music by just playing their legs around? You can pat your foot to it, you can dance to it, you can enjoy it and laugh and live a little. See, that's the feeling you get when you go to visit a band in the where you got the Bakersfield sound.
It's a different sound to what you get out of Nashville. Altogether different. And it's got more get up and go about it. It's got more, it's not trying to be so professional that you take the life out of it.
We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. We don't take no trips on LSD. And we don't burn no drive carts down on Main Street. But we like living right, being free.
My music came out of that same soil that John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath came from, and that's who I am.
I'm proud to be an Ogie from Muskogee, a place where even squares can have a ball. We still wave Old Glory down at the courthouse, and white lightning is still the biggest thrill of all.
You know, when America first started, it was a melting pot. Well, that's what California is to the United States, back in the 30s, at least, when all this migration started. And most of those folks were country people. They all just migrated out here. Most of them, I would say, wound up here in Bakersfield. You see this here dirt? That's called brown gold. All the folks that came out here in the early 30s and late 20s in what they call the migration to California, this is what brought them. This and yellow gold. They come looking for the yellow, they found the brown.
Mama had always read these books, these Western novels, you know, about California, the West, the Golden West, and where you can go and just reach up and pick gold off trees. And she believed that. And so she was going to go to California, where you could reach up and pick gold off trees. When we got to California, she learned that the gold that was on them trees was the fruits of the San Joaquin Valley.
My drifting memory goes back to the spring of 43, when I was just a child in Mama's arms. My daddy plowed the ground and prayed someday he could leave this undone mortgaged Oklahoma farm. There's been one night I heard my daddy saying to my mom that he'd finally safe enough to go. California was his dream of paradise, for he had seen pictures in magazines that told him so. California cotton fields, where labor camps were filled with worried men with broken dreams. California cotton fields, as close to wealth as Daddy ever came.
We would sit around in the migrant camps after picking cotton all day long. Of course, I didn't pick cotton. I played off on the fact that I was the only girl and I was too little and skinny. So I'd let Mama get her sack about half full, and I'd go get on it and let her pull me through the fields all day long. But I didn't have to pick cotton because I was too little. I was forever just singing to the top of my lungs, just as loud as I could. And I can still hear Mama saying, "Would you get out of here and go sing to your daddy? I'm tired of hearing you." And Fred, he hated work, as he called it. And he decided one day that we should get a band together, because we sat around the campfires at night and played and entertained everybody.
I knew Cliff and Cal could play because they'd played together that night at where we'd camped on this farm where all the cotton pickers had come in, you know. I'm thinking, let's go back to Modesto. We'll start the band and I'll be the manager. And we'll get on the radio. So they said, that's a good idea, but you got to have a girl singer. I said, we got a girl singer. I didn't know we did have, but I said, we got one, but you could hear her 10 miles of singing at home, Rose's Voice of Decent, and you could hear her just bellering out them songs. I said, we got a girl singer. And I said, I had seen a guy, you know, Archie Stark's band,
Yeah.
the one that had the bass fiddle.
Yeah.
I'd seen him playing a bass fiddle, and I wanted one of them. And I didn't know if I could play a bass fiddle or not, but I knew I had to. So Cal and Cliff tuned it. The day it come in.
And somebody else is still tuning it for
Yeah,
you.
that's the reason I have to have it. I can't tune it. I know when it's out. But I started slapping it on the radio the day I got it. Been a slapping the heck out of it ever since.
Good morning to everyone out there in Radio Land, and welcome to KCHJ, ladies and gentlemen, for the Barn Dance Show with special guest star Miss Rose Maddox, also Mr. Roy Nichols playing lead guitar, Mr. Bobby Joe playing bass, Mr. Fred Maddox, right here, another star, Grand Ole Opry star. Fred Maddox, get it to him. All right, and welcome to the Barn Dance Show at KCHJ Radio. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello there. How are you? I'm happy every day I live. These nights are killing me, though.
Oh, boy, yeah?
Yeah.
Let me in on it. Wow.
Well, I was waiting for you to say, well, what about old Fred?
Yeah, what about old Fred?
You got him lined up for tonight, though, Fred.
Oh, boy, have I ever.
Have you? Hit me an acorn. I played around and played around this old town too long. Summer's almost gone, yeah, winter's coming on. I played around and played around this old town too long, and I feel like I gotta travel on. Well, Papa writes to Johnny, Johnny can't come home. Johnny can't come home, no, Johnny can't come home. Papa writes to Johnny, Johnny can't come home, 'cause he's been up in Reno too long. Well, I laid around and played around this old town too long. Summer's almost gone, yeah, winter's coming on. I played around and played around this old town too long, and I feel like I gotta travel on. Pick it, Roy! Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Roy Nichols.
Well, a high sheriff and a police coming after me, yeah, riding after me. The high sheriff and a police coming after me, and I feel like I gotta travel on. Well, I laid around and played around this old town too long. Summer's almost gone, yeah, winter's coming on. I've laid around and played around this old town too long, and I feel like I gotta travel on. And I feel like I gotta travel on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Rose Maddox, Queen of the West, right here. Once again, I'd like to say thanks to Rose and Fred. So until next Saturday for the barn dance, this is Billy saying adios.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Crazy Horse. Are you ready? Yeah! Please welcome one of the best in the business, Buck Owens and the Buckaroos.
Oh, I like people that love country music. All right. What an audience tonight, huh? Oh, you're a great audience. Thank you.
Woke up this morning, happy as could be. Looked out my window, what did I see? Coming up my sidewalk, just as big as day. Hey, here come trouble that I never thought I'd see when you went away. Hello, trouble, come on in. Yeah, you talk about heartaches, where in the world you been? I ain't had miseries since you've been gone. Hello, trouble, 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 welcome home.
Well, you know, I started making music because my uncles did. My mother played the piano in the churches where we went, and I just started playing music like that, and I loved music. I always loved the sounds. I loved the bluegrass, and I loved the gospel sounds, and then that's really why I originally started doing it, and then later on I continued to do it because I thought it might be a way of making a living and getting out of the cotton fields.
I hear bells ringing, I hear birds singing. Love's gonna live here again. And I hear bees humming, and I know the days are coming
know, the biggest driving force for me, I think, was I hated being poor. I hated wearing pasteboard in my shoes and twine or shoestrings, and I hated wearing hand-me-downs. And I remember as a little kid thinking, boy, when I get big, I ain't never gonna be poor again.
What's gonna live here again?
A lot of times when you're picking cotton, I worked with the Mexicans and I worked with the blacks. Sometimes the Mexicans would be over here and we all kind of ganged up together, you know, I mean, but you still yet the Mexicans would be picking cotton over here and sometimes they'd be singing and a great Mexican harmony that they sang. And over here, the blacks would be singing, they sang mostly blues and gospel songs. And, you know, you hear all that and here you are a kid and you're looking at all that. But they had humor. They laughed. We laughed. Everybody, I think, you had to have fun things. And I think we poked fun at ourselves. I think we laughed at ourselves because we really didn't want to address the fact how hard the work was and how little we got for it.
Hey, you want to have some fun? Yeah! Well, I'll play for you to dance a few. Would you? What do you think? All right? And then the ones that don't want to dance can just sit close together. What do you think? You want to do that? All right? I got a tiger by the tail, it's plain to see. I won't be much when you get through with me. I'm a losing weight and a turning by pale. Looks like I got a tiger by the tail.
I love the sound. I think it's a different sound. It's an unpolished, give 'em hell, straight ahead, no BS about it. It's music. It's my music. It's what I do and it's what I love.
Well, now every night you drag me where the bright lights are found. There ain't no way to slow you down. And I'm about as helpless as a leaf in a gale. And it looks like I got a tiger by the tail. I got a tiger by the tail, it's plain to see. I won't be much when you get through with me. I'm a losing weight and turning mighty pale. Looks like I got a tiger by the tail. Well, and it looks like I got a tiger by the tail. I hear people talking about the way we have to live here in this country. Harping on the wars we fight and griping about the way things ought to be. I don't mind them switching sides and standing up for things they believe in. When they're running down our country, man, they're walking on the fighting side of me.
My own music came from a need to have something to sing. I had to have something to say. I had to have something to sing. I had to have something to identify in some way in music to tell people that were listening to me who I was.
If you don't love it, leave it. Let the song I'm singing be a warning. When you're running down our country horse, you're walking on the fighting side of me.
My problem was I guess I grew up, I thought I grew up too fast, and I didn't want to go to school. I wanted to go to work. And they wouldn't let me, and I wound up being thrown in jail because I wouldn't go to school, and then I would break out of these little juvenile road camps and run off and wound up stealing cars. And I was 19 years old. I really messed up, but I don't like to talk about it. But anyway, in that process of all that, somehow or another, music seemed to be the only way out of the whole rut that I had been born into. I had been born into a period of struggling Americans who had just kind of like wiggled their way out of a Great Depression and into a period of some sort of security they found in the valley there, and the music that came forth was as pure as it could be, because it was real.
First thing I remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing and a youngin's dream of growing up to ride on a freight train leaving town, not knowing where I'm bound. No one could change my mind, but Mama tried. The one and only rebel child from a family meek and mild, my mama seemed to know what lay in store. Despite all my Sunday learning, toward the bad I kept on turning till Mama could not hold me anymore. I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. What will steer me right, but Mama tried, Mama tried, Mama tried to raise me better. Pleading I denied, that leaves on to be the blame, 'cause Mama tried.
The Grapes of Wrath with Henry Fonda was actually filmed in and around a place called Hilltop. Well, that's where I was actually raised, between there and Oildale, and my cousins and aunts and uncles were strung out between Oildale and Weed Patch, and they were living right in the exact spot where The Grapes of Wrath was filmed. And out in front of these old tents and half canvas-covered cabins and things of that nature, you know, you'd hear a guitar once in a while. My dad and grandpas would have, on Saturday night, if they'd had a little band, they'd have went to somebody's house and played in the living room, you know, and left the doors open, and the kids would be sleeping in the halls, and they played till daylight, you know, and that was a dance in those days. And then they went to schoolhouse, and schoolhouse, they built the old place out, the old barn dance, you know, went to the barn, and then it evolved into what we know it to be now. I think what happened is those places like Lamont, California, and Arvin, California, popped up out of the grape vineyards, the places where these migrated people lived. There was beer joints that came up out of there, and those little beer joints had little bands, and the kids, probably the kids of these people that came out, wound up in these little beer joints, like I did. And getting to hear yourself on a microphone for the first time, you know. And back in those days, you know, the most desired thing in the world was just to be able to sing over one of those old Shure 55s, you know, and one of those square jobs, you know. Boy, they sounded good.
Go back a few years, one called the Working Man Blues. Goes like this right here. It's a big job getting by with 9 kids and a wife. Yeah, but I've been a working man, danger all my life. I'm going working as long as my 2 hands are fit to use. I drank my bitter tavern and then sang a little bit of these working man blues. Well, I keep my nose on the grindstone, work hard every day. Might get a little tired on the weekend after I draw my pay, but I go back working. Come Monday morning, I'm right back with the crew. Drink a little beer that evening and then sing a little bit of this working man blues. Yeah. Well, sometimes I think about leaving, do a little bumping around. Throw my bills out the window, catch me a train to another town, but I go back working, man. Come Monday morning, I'm right back with the crew. Drink my beer at a tavern and then sing a little bit of these working man blues. Blink, blink.
I think that it was inevitable that I was to be a singer because I never did want to be a singer. And even after I was in music, and then had a lot of people let me know they liked my singing. And every time they'd ask me to sing a song, somebody else in the band would, I'd say, hey man, I was hired to play guitar. You sing the song, was my attitude. And you know, they finally get me up there to sing, but I really didn't want to sing. And it was something I took for granted.
Well, hey, the working man like me. Never been on welfare, and that's one place he won't be. He'd be working time, long as his two hands are fit to use. Drink a little beer in a tavern and then sing a little bit of this working man blues.
It's such a pretty world today. Why, look at the sunshine. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And every day's the same since I met you.
I was born in Oklahoma, Eufaula, Oklahoma. And things got so bad back there, I said there's bound to be another way to make a living. And a friend I knew was coming out here. He said, you can ride with me, it won't cost you nothing. Which was lucky because I didn't have nothing. So I got in there with him and we came to Bakersfield. And that was 1957. And I've been here ever since, playing music.
I'm a cooking these taters. Got an old slouch hat. And I'm telling you something. You ain't gonna like that. Yeah, you're gonna love this, boy, I'm telling you. The only place you can get these is Eufaula, Oklahoma. And that's a long ways from Bakersfield. Okay, we'll get them little jabbies right in there.
Fried potatoes, they're always on my mind. Fried potatoes, I eat them all the time. I love them in the morning, I love them late at night. I never eat fried chicken when potatoes are inside.
All of your more sophisticated upper class, so-called upper class people look down their noses at us. And when we went into the music business, they also still look down at them Okies trying to sing.
Playing that Okie music.
Playing that Okie music, you know. But you would hear them, you could always tell that they had their radios on or they wouldn't have known anything about it in the first place. Listening at it, yet they'd look down their noses at you because you was an Okie.
They called my father Okie, and they called him Okie like you would call a black man a nigger, or you Italian a wop, you know. Wasn't sometimes all that friendly when they said it. But that still was his nickname. That's what they called him. And so the song Okie from Muskogee, it's about him.
There was a lot of intolerance, I think, as much like there is for the Hispanic in some parts of the country here today. We did the hard work, but you know, we're not the only people that ever felt intolerance. I think everybody that's ever amounted to anything has felt some. If they haven't, they've missed something.
Now take a plate of vegetables with collards and tomatoes. Don't that sound good, but better still, just add some fried potatoes. Fried potatoes, they're always on my mind. Fried potatoes, I eat them all the time. I love them in the morning, I love them late at night. I never eat fried chicken when potatoes are inside. In a pair of cowboy boots.
Great Fred.
Now lay there and wiggle.
Yeah, the great Fred Maddox and Rose here.
Oh, yeah, the
putting
great
us on
Fred
the show.
Maddox.
Yeah, just like
You better believe it.
just like the bottom of an old stove. Great.
Yeah.
And this is what the bands had to put up with that worked in the Lucky Spot. These freight trains coming through all night long, making all that racket, but the people never paid any attention to them.
1, 2, 3, 4. I left Oklahoma, driving in a Pontiac, just about to lose my mind. I was going to Arizona, maybe on to California, where the people all live so fine.
The people that came out to the clubs in those days were just like they are today. Mostly they were just hard-working people, you know. They wanted something to do. And they'd come out and just come out and have a good time, what we was doing. They were all looking for a good time, and the bands tried to furnish that.